Oh, that was such a good point. And I
And
think that's the beauty of this story. Like you said, Jada, one person couldn't walk and one person couldn't see, which reflects the differences of all of us. But if we come together, even though we may be different on certain really important issues, we could really accomplish a lot. Elise, go ahead.
I feel like one of the messages from the story is that when you have the right motivation to do something, you put more work into doing it.
Mhm.
Even though they were blind and they couldn't walk, they did what they had to do because they knew that they were going to have to work to get to where they needed to go.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and also as well, I think that another way that this can, like the message of the story can relate to what's going on now, is that people have, or some people have a way of, not, like, people will demonize you for your mistakes, and then when you ask them for help they won't give it to you, or some people will. And I think that that's also another problem that we have to overcome. We have to learn how, like, it's okay for people to make mistakes. You don't, especially famous people, because famous people, all they really are people who have talent. Let's be honest, and a lot of money. They're not a part of a special cult. They're not a part of a special breed. They're same like us. So I really never got why people vilify, or not vilify, but hold people who are famous to like high standards, because even if you have money, it doesn't change the fact that at some point you're going to make a mistake.
We're all the
You are
same.
going to make
We're
a
all,
mistake.
would you say, DJ?
We're all the same. There's no
We're
reason
all
to
the
treat
same. Yeah.
there's no reason to treat other people differently just because they have a mental disorder
Yes.
or they're sick or they're blind, can't walk
Yes.
from birth.
Now, I have not heard anything from Kevin. I have not heard anything from John. I have not heard anything from Alexander. And I have not heard anything from Ime. And I have not heard anything from Vance. Your thoughts on the story? Comments, questions?
Miss Anita.
Yes,
Well, I
John.
have a comment.
Uh,
But John spoke up first and then you, Alex. Go ahead, John.
um, well, I was going to say that it shows that anything that you're doing, or no matter what problems people have, if you guys are working together or like have good organization, you guys accomplish a lot of stuff.
Yes, please keep talking into the mic because you fade out. As long as you're working together, you can accomplish a lot. Absolutely. Alexander, what was yours next?
Well, my comment on the story was I just, well, first, I think the moral of this story is that even though you may have some differences, it doesn't mean that you can't work together to accomplish like a big goal.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
I also thought it was very weird that they just magically were able to walk and see.
Well, no,
Very,
yeah, no, so that I had a question about that too, Alexander. Like, I don't understand how that happened. What was it that caused them to all of a sudden be able to see and walk?
Can I say something?
I think
Go.
well, I mean, it could totally be divine intervention. I don't see why not.
Okay, Elise.
Well, because it was like not a real, it's a tale. I would say the reason is because they accomplished what they need to accomplish. It was like a reward for their work,
Okay.
and that's why they could see and walk.
I think I was waiting for some like god or goddess or
yeah, that's
magical
what I was
force
kind
to
of
say
got.
because you have done this, but
Yeah, like a reward. That's yeah, like kind of like that.
Yeah,
Since
I
it's a
was totally expecting that too.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was gonna say, because like
Poof.
I think that the reason why they were able to walk again and they were able to see again was because God saw that they were making an effort to work together, and they were putting in work to receive their blessing. So therefore, they received it, and that thing is key, because you can't just sit around and pray for your you have to work for it too. You have to put in the work for your blessing. You can't just.
Okay, so I have not heard from KJ and I have not heard from Ime or Vance. Is Ime
Can I
here?
say something?
Yeah. Go ahead, Ime.
So I was gonna say, don't stop working because you have doubts. Like at first, I was wondering how the blind man and them were gonna move around, but um, they they kept on working, even though even even though they had differences.
KJ. I also wonder, while waiting for KJ to get himself together, I also wondered why the people left him there. Like, why didn't they all work together to carry them out?
Because we as humans, we have this nature of being only, self sufficient, worried about ourselves when we're in a crisis, and so we only think about, okay, I got to get out of here fast now before I end up dying, and I can't really worry about, the next person because I don't want to die.
Yeah.
And not saying that that feeling is wrong. It's not wrong. It's just that sometimes you have to, like, it's key to worry about other people too, as you're worrying about yourself as well.
So then my question is, why did those men, why weren't they bitter at their village, at the members of their village?
I
Like,
think
why
the
did they say,
reason
you know
why
what, let's just let them be gone and we'll keep the village all to ourselves, or?
I think the reason why they weren't bitter is because, like, they kind of realized, or not even realized, but they already had, the thought in their minds that, hey, it's just what it was. It just is what it is. You know, if
But
I
I'm still trying to
I
figure
feel like
out.
they kind of put themselves in the other person's shoes, and they were saying, okay, I could see why they did this because they were worried about themselves,
Maybe they're
and
being
they
gracious
needed
to the
to,
people.
yet they needed to get out, that situation themselves because they were scared, and fear
Let me see if
will.
somebody else has a point they'd like to make. KJ, do you have a point you'd like to make?
Have they understood why they do what they do?
I didn't understand what you said.
You open chat.
He said, can you open chat?
I can't hear you.
He said he opened the chat box so
I
we
thought
can
it was
chat it.
open. There we go. Okay, Vance, are you there? Vance? Are you there, Vance?
Yeah, this is my internet connection messing up.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, what we're going to do is we'll stop here for today. And I will see you guys at Whirlpool today. This week's project is history. Do not forget, your project this week is history. Katie said, I think they had an understanding on why they did what they did. And the moral of the story is to persevere. Okay. All right, guys. I'll see you at Whirlpool.